Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you're all having an awesome day. You guys can see here I'm back with more hot toys. This time is Deadpool from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. I got my copy via sideshow.com here in the US. This is approximately 315 US dollars here. This is, I guess, what they call their special edition, which I believe comes with like the two gold pistoleros or the gold guns, and I think a special looking base as well. So again, pretty cool figure. Definitely looking forward to getting this added to the
guys,
collection.
so I am going to attempt my best here to show you all the different accessories you get here with this Deadpool figure from Hot Toys, and you do get quite a few, which is actually a good thing, right? Having options. But as you guys can see here, you get katanas, you get your standard Hot Toys bendy pole with the clamp, but the base is it's got the Deadpool and Wolverine logo there. You get 4 different sets of different expressions, magnetized eyes down here that you could switch. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pairs of hands, not including the one that he comes with. Some additional ball joints in case you end up breaking the ones that come with it. You've got his katana holder. You've got a holder for a pull head. Here, I'll show you that once we get more in depth with the accessories. A baby carrier. Here's Deadpool himself, along with some accessories for himself there. You get guns. This figure specifically, this version anyway, has 2 sets of guns. You got the golden pistoleros, I believe as he called them, and your standard guns, a knife, baby pool, dog pool, and again the eyes. So you get quite a few, and even baby pool gets some accessories. So quite a number of accessories. So let's go ahead and get started with the easier one, which is here, this base for Deadpool. You've got the Deadpool and Wolverine logo. This is all plastic. It looks okay. It's nothing too crazy. I guess this is in place of a regular, what they call a hexagon base that we normally get with our other Hot Toys. You got the Deadpool logo with the claw marks. This is supposed to be like a stone or a rock. It is all plastic. The unfortunate thing is that it's hollow. I wish it would have been one nice chunk of plastic, but I guess it would have cost more. But there you see it there. There's a slot here to screw in the bendy pole that comes with the figure, which is this one. And you also do get a clamp that goes along with it that you could use. A part of this section here of the clamp, there's a little slot here. I don't know if you guys could see that. That's where the pole goes. But you can also take Deadpool here. He comes with his own little bendy pole. It's like metal wrapped in plastic, but essentially what this is used for is in conjunction with the Deadpools here with this thing, essentially to fit in there to give Deadpool, which I'll show you in a second, a bit of a flying pose or a floating pose, what have you, right? And speaking of Deadpool, here he is. So you do get Deadpool here. Just trying to get him to focus there, and I think it's pretty well done. Again, you've got a movable jaw here, so it can move up and down. You can make him talk. One of the accessories he comes with, this comes actually detached. There's a slot there to attach this little piece there, his little helicopter blades that he used to fly around, so you can use these, or if you want, he comes with this different effect here to give it, I guess, some movement. Just be really careful. This is clear plastic. You don't want to force it in too much, but then it ends up looking something like that, which I think it's pretty cool. But here's the side of Deadpool. Here's the back. I think they've done a pretty well enough job with this guy. I love that they've included all of these, this different version of Deadpool here. The eyes look really cool. Definitely, I think, a nice little addition. So moving on here with the accessories, where else can we go? So as I showed you guys earlier, Deadpool comes with a bunch of eyes here, so you guys could see him here. He's got, I guess, surprise expression. He's got some angry eyes, some neutral eyes, 4 different pairs. They're all magnetized, so there are magnets there. A pretty similar system to the Spider-Man eyes that you just kind of push out and put this in place. So again, really cool that you could do that. You know who else gets eye expressions? Baby Pool, which also does come with this figure. He gets one set of eye expressions for him. I don't know what these are kind of like. I guess more of a neutral kind of look for Baby Pool. And he also gets
I guess his little pacifier or baby bottles, I guess. You get two of them there. I don't know if you could see that. And then this would kind of lead me into Baby Pool himself, which he is right here. Nice little figure. The accessories I just showed you, like the baby bottles, he's got a holster here so they can go attached in here if you want them to. Save them, like store them, I guess, there, for lack of a better term. They can go attached there. Just be really careful. They can also be held in his hands. The hands here have a little slot to put these in. So if you wanted him to, he can try and hold the bottles. Just be really careful. This all being plastic, that's one of the things that you don't want to end up breaking anything. But you guys can see he can hold his baby bottle here on his hand, and then you could take that out. Both hands have the slot here to hold the bottles in place. As far as the little figure itself, I think it does look really nice. Got the little logo on the pacifier that's in his mouth. The head can fully rotate. No really up and down, but you can fully rotate the head. The arms here, full 360 if you wanted to. Again, that's really cool. The hands do not move, so I would not try and force them. And then you've got, looks like, some articulation here on the legs. So you can move them slightly out, back, forward, just about that much. No knees, because he's just a short, chubby guy, chubby kid. And no ball joints on the ankles, so they could just rotate fully all the way around. So I would say some decent articulation for a little figure like this. And the detail, I think, is well done. Again, it's a little baby Deadpool, so I definitely love that little belt there, little belly, and you've got the back here. So really cool that they've included this. And then of course you can switch up the eyes here. They are magnetized, like I showed you earlier. So you can just pull them out and put the new eyes in, and they actually look, I guess, slightly more neutral than the ones that he comes with. But that's the thing you could do, is you could switch out the eyes like so. So again, really cool. Another accessory that's technically part of Baby Pool here, and I'll show you in a second, is the baby carrier. So yes, you get a baby carrier here for Baby Pool. So this is an accessory for Deadpool. It's done out of this rubber and some hard plastic part, especially around here. This is essentially, I guess, the part where he goes facing forward, so he would end up looking like this. And then on the back, you've got some nice there sections here. This part actually does come apart. I'm assuming this is to put the carrier on Deadpool on the figure, so you can take it out there. I didn't really see anywhere else where you could take this out. I did see a slot here that, yep, there you go. So you could you have a buckle here on the bottom and then on the top, and then that kind of opens up the whole thing to be able to then put this onto Wade or Deadpool. So again, that's really cool. And then you could just pop it back in. It is plastic, so again, be really careful with it. I don't want to end up breaking anything, but it's nice again that they include this option with the figure. So that's that. And then since we're in the subject of, I guess, different versions of Deadpool, here's Dogpool. Again, I believe this guy, from what I recall in the movie, came with Nice Pool, which is a whole different figure from Hot Toys. But again, really cool. They've included the dog here. His tail kind of pointing down. He's got the Deadpool outfit with the pouches in his back. Of course, here you've got the little nipples for the dog. The back legs do not move, but the front legs do. Just be really careful. Again, it looks like there's some side to side and up and down articulation that you can play with, but just be really careful. Again, just hesitate to break anything on such a nice looking little dog piece. You've got a little Deadpool logo there, and then the head itself, you can fully turn it around if you want, and he can look up and then down slightly. But I definitely love that expression here that they've given him with the tongue sticking out. He's got the goggles. Those are non-removable. Do not try to remove those. You will break your figure. But again, it's really cool that they've included this. I know it was such a funny part and key part, I guess, of that movie. but you can have your dog pool there with baby pool and head pool and Deadpool all in one package. Now, we've gotten the, I guess, extra figures or accessories that come with him. More here. Let's talk about here these things. These are the katanas. You get a plastic holder that's meant to attach to his back. This is magnetized, so this can attach to the back via a magnet. This piece is well enough done. This is plastic, nothing too bad. Black plastic, nicely painted, so it's really cool. The katanas do fit in here, so you can essentially take these katanas and just being really careful when you put them in that you don't break anything. I'm hoping I'm putting these on right. I may have put in this one the wrong way, but learn from my mistakes. There you go. If it goes in easier like this, that's the way they're supposed to be in. Do not force anything in if you're struggling. They should be a bit loose like that. So again, it's cool that they fit like this, and like I said, this is magnetized, so you can put this on his back and it looks kind of cool. As far as the katanas themselves, they do look nice enough. You know, they're, I think, a nice color. They got the nice gunmetal or metal gray there going on the blade itself. The handles do look really cool there. I think they've done a great job, and they're pretty massive, and of course you can hold them. He comes with hands to hold the swords specifically. My only nitpick is that I really do wish these would have been metal. I think it would have given this figure so much of a higher quality value if it would have gotten metal katanas. Now, I don't know if it's because maybe since they're meant to go in here and this is just magnetized, perhaps the weight of metal katanas would have weighed this down. But in all honesty, as expensive as his figures are nowadays, I think metal katanas would have gone a long way. They don't look bad. I guess the only thing is these being plastic, just be really careful that you don't bend them, or that yours did not come bent out of the box. I think mine are for the most part okay, but just something that was a bit of a disappointment. They look nice. I just wish they would have been metal. Moving on here, let me show you all the hands that you do get here. As I said, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pairs of hands. You get some what is this, wrist pegs in case you break the ones that he comes with, and you've got tons of hands, which I'm assuming the ones that a lot of people are going to use are probably these heart hands here. So you do get those. Really cool. You get these thumbs up hand. You get this A-OK hand here. You get pointy, you got a finger point hand and a 2 gun, and you get some reaching out or more palm-like hands. And these are, I'm assuming, the hands that are meant to hold the guns probably here. And speaking of the guns, that's a good segue over here when we're talking about guns. You, this particular edition, you get 2 different pairs. But actually before that, let's get this knife out of the way. You do get a nice knife again, and it's sharp, I guess. Just be really careful because this is, again, plastic. You got a nice handle here, which looks really cool, and you've got the metal blade, so he can use this to stab Wolverine. So there we go. And then guns, right? So you got 2 pairs. One's in black, which I guess I'm assuming these are the standard guns that the figure comes with. They come with this nice Deadpool logo on the bottom, on the magazines, essentially. I think that both guns are done well enough. They do have the, I guess you could pull this section of the chamber out. I'm assuming that's what that part is called. You could do it on both, and the instructions actually do say that the chamber, sorry, not the chamber, but that the magazines are removable. And on one of mine, it is pretty easily removable. As a matter of fact, they actually sometimes just fall out. So like this one here, it goes halfway down before it kind of, you have to force it out. So that magazine is definitely removable, and as you guys can see, you can slide this back in place without any issue. So that's nice enough, and he can hold these in his hand. But you guys can see the magazine kind of just hangs in there, which is kind of a bit of a disappointment there. But this other one, you can move the section back and forth up here, but the magazine cannot come out. I'm assuming maybe on this one it's just non-removable, so just something to keep in mind. At least on my copy, it doesn't look like I can remove this one. It may just be part of the gun, so just something to be careful. You've got the little scripture there on the guns which say smile, and I can't really read the bottom text. So again, some nice little details here on the guns. Of course, You also do get your gold pistoleros, as he called them in the movie, which is pretty much the same guns I just showed you. These are just painted gold, which kind of brings out a lot of the detailing that gets lost in the gunmetal gray that they use for those guns. So again, these are all painted plastic. They do look really nice, and you can do the same thing that you could with the other ones. Is you can move this whole section back on both guns. So again, you could see, and you could see inside, you could see the magazine. And on both of these guns, you could definitely remove magazines. Matter of fact, again, these are pretty loose. At least one of mine, it's like kind of falling out. So you have to be really careful that you don't lose them. There's a magazine removed. Again, painted gold. Looks like some of the paint may have rubbed off there. But you also do get the Deadpool logo in there. And thankfully, at least for these two, you can remove the magazine on both without issue. But as I said, they are a little loose on one of the guns, so kind of sucks. Hope I don't lose them. So yeah, so that is it for all the accessories that comes with Deadpool. Then we'll move on to the figure. This is my first Hot Toys Deadpool figure. I do not have the 1.0 or 2.0. I believe this is 3.0. So I really don't have a point of comparison to any other Deadpool figures. To me, right out of the box, I do like the way he looks. I think the proportions are pretty on point. The suit does look really nice. I think all the little added details around the straps and the black and red, I think does look really cool. The little gold accents, definitely love all the belt with all the different pouches and the Deadpool logo. You've got pouches here on the leg, on the left leg. And you've got the holsters for the guns. I think everything, from a detail perspective, I think it's done really, really nice. And I think the proportions do look pretty cool there. You guys saw he comes with a plethora of accessories, so I will try to do some poses using a lot of that stuff. The suit itself, as far as the material, really does kind of remind me of a mixture between all the material that's used for the, I guess, the Captain America suits from Endgame, particularly. At least that's the one that I have, and a mixture of the Spider-Man suits as well. So it's a lot of that, almost like vinyl, like almost feels like it was some spray painted on rubber material. So it'll see how long it'll last, but it does look nice and feel nice there. Yeah, I'm just trying to bring you closer so you could see some of the detailing there on this figure. So turning you, give a bit of a look here on the back, but the suit looks really nice. Obviously, I think like all other Hot Toys that use similar vinyl material, you can put this guy in some poses, but of course, leaving it in any kind of extreme poses, you probably risk stretching the material and also leaving it with marks or scuffs, particularly around the, like the elbows, the shoulders, the legs, and we'll go over the articulation in a bit because he does have some nice articulation. But overall, I mean, I do think the figure does look nice, so I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, my first Deadpool figure, so overall, I think he looks pretty cool. Now, as far as articulation here, his head can turn around fully. The eyes, as you could see, could be removed because he comes with a few of them. He can look probably down, probably about that much, up about that much, and you can move the head fully around. The neck kind of moves with it, so you are going to be getting some nice articulation here from the neck. As far as the the shoulders here, so the sections here on the top, the shoulder pads do get in the way, so that's probably about as much as you're going to get. If you force it anymore, I'm thinking you're going to break something. So again, just be really cautious. He can move forward just about that much. Again, just being really cautious that you do not stretch out that suit material here too much, and probably back about that much. The elbows here, again, double jointed elbows, which you get some nice range there. But again, you could see the suit bunching up, which is kind of, at this point with all the other Hot Toys figures, you do get that kind of effect. And the hands here, the wrists, you can move this all the way around, and you can move this up and down, I believe. Yep. just be really careful. I'm glad they give you some additional bulges because it feels a little stiff. The hands can pop in and out because you get a whole bunch of them to mess around with, and this section here of the suit you can move up and down as well. The chest here, he kind of looked down, probably about that much, but the suit gets in the way. I don't think it's meant to really go too much, and probably about that much. They're looking up. So, and you could probably turn this around, but again, the suit, you guys could see the strap here too moving in, so just be really careful. I don't know that you could turn the torso too much there. The belt here is all pouches and everything. You can move this up and down and out of the way. You just have to play around with it, but it does move up and down in his torso there. Got your gun holsters here, which are made out of plastic, and some soft straps here that are not part of the suit, it doesn't look like, so you can slightly reposition them as needed on both sides. This one's got extra pouches, so very Liefeld-like, Rob Liefeld. You can kick forward, but again, you could see the suit here stressing. Just something to keep in mind. Kick back. So, you know, of course, do this at your own risk. And you can do the knees. Knees, you've got some really nice articulation there. But again, you know, just keep in mind that, you know, you're going to leave this here for a long time. You are going to get some suit marks there. What is this? The lower leg part here. These sections are separate from the suit, so you can adjust them accordingly. And they do look really nice. And right here on the right leg, you do have a section to store the knife made out of this black plastic. Looks really nice. This is also a separate piece. So similarly to the right leg here, you can play around with this and move it out of the way. The feet here look nice. There's no toe articulation or hard plastic. When mine came in, the right foot it's all fine. You could see some of the suit bunching up here. I don't know if you could tell, but this ankle is it's nice and loose and sturdy, so no issues there. You can move this slightly around, just being really careful. It doesn't look like it wants to move out too much this way. This way is kind of much easier, but you can move it up and down and slightly left and right, just being really careful. The left leg, my ankle joint here was extremely tight. So what I ended up doing is, rather than forcing anything, is I actually pulled the ankle off. The way these are done, let's see if I could do it without breaking anything right now. But you guys could see there is there's a foot. So I ended up taking the foot off right here. And what then that allowed me to do is see the joint. So the joint was here. And I ended up having, let's see if I could take this out, having to take this whole section out. And as you guys can see, there's underneath the suit. And I pulled this up. And then what that did is that allowed me to see the screw here. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a screw right there on the inside. And what I did is just turned it a couple of times so that the joint was just as loose or as sturdy as the leg here, and then that allowed me to move the leg freely up and down. It doesn't look like there's any way to turn these, or at least it's very, like, you can turn them in without much issue. I think is when you try to turn them out this way. So just be very cautious, you know, that the way these ankles kind of work. There you could see them. So once I loosened up the screw a bit, you know, just enough so that you can move the joint without giving too much force, it kind of ended up working out a little better. Now, as you guys can see, they can move in fine, but moving out this way in this direction is pretty rough, so I'm not going to try that. And then essentially once I did that, I kind of just slid everything back into place and you know, was able to put the foot back on. Let's say instead of the foot right now, it doesn't actually go like straight in, it kind of goes into the boot. So just something to keep in mind, at least on mine. Thankfully I haven't broken anything, particularly ankle. I did just have to, as I just showed you, loosen that up a bit to avoid any kind of breakage or stressing of the foot there. So before we get a little too crazy with the posing, I'd figure let me start off with something just basic, maybe perhaps a bit of a running pose there for Deadpool. No accessories, I didn't switch out anything, just kind of started playing around with it, and this is what I ended up with, just a basic, I guess, walking or slightly running pose, which doesn't look too bad. So another bit of a basic pose here with Deadpool. Went ahead and added in the swords, the magnetic sword holster in the back, added the guns, playing around a bit with the ankles there. Thankfully, no issues yet. I went ahead and put in the baby bottles on Deadpool's belt there, and of course we have Dogpool there. So overall, I would say a pretty basic pose. Didn't really take a lot of effort to get this guy into there. I did try playing with the torso by bending it down a bit, but it doesn't really want to stay. But I think it looks pretty cool there. I guess the one issue that I kind of had was getting the swords in the hands. The plastic is a little tough, so you have to kind of work it in. Be careful with not grabbing the blades. Always grab it by the handle. That's the only thing, is that I really wish these swords were metal. Because they're plastic, you do have to be really careful with them. But I do like this pose quite a bit, even though it's pretty basic, right? Just kind of him standing there with a baby pool and dog pool holding his swords. Here's more of a mid-air pose using the included stand and the clamps. This one, I guess, as you guys could see there on the waist, right, with folding up the legs, you're going to get a lot of bunching up around the waist area. So I don't know that this would be a pose that you leave this guy in for a long amount of time. I think just for maybe photography or for something like this where you're making a video of this guy, I think it works well. I also did go ahead and add head pull there. He comes with his own metal stand that you attach to the rod. Obviously this clamp I would only use temporary. I would not display this, particularly the material for this suit, with that clamp for a long time, just because you'll probably get some damage. Of course, as I mentioned, this magnetic holder, I'm not too crazy about it for the swords, just because as you're posing or putting this guy in some kind of pose, it always tends to fall off. So again, to save you some grief, I would put that on last. I think other than that, the pose itself looks good. I think one thing that does bug me is, I don't know if you could tell here, but one of the guns, the golden guns anyway, this magazine over here just... All right, so one last pose here. Went ahead and try to incorporate all the extra, I guess, figures that he comes with. So we have the baby carrier along with baby pool that he's holding there, dog pool on his shoulder, and head pull there floating on the stand. Switched out the eyes. I'm not really sure what expression I was going for there, but I just switched them out. Also switched out his hands there, so you've got the more it's got pointy, like gun pointing hand there, and then the thumbs up here on the right hand, to just try to incorporate all the different things that he comes with. And he's kind of jumping in the air. Not sure again what I was going for, just trying to go for a bit of an action pose here. So he's got one leg up, kind of jumping in the air with all these different things coming at him. So again, trying to have some fun with this guy. He is pretty cool once you get over some of the issues, like the sliding magazines and the guns that just won't stay in place, at least. And some of the hands to get the weapons in are a little stiff or hard to get them in, so you have to kind of have to fight them a bit. And thankfully, like, as I said, well, I'm not really utilizing the ankles that much, other than moving them up and down in this pose. But you guys could see there, certainly not a pose you would leave in for a while. Like, you are going to get marks on the suit if you leave him in this pose. But it's a cool pose nonetheless if you want to take pictures or, for video purposes. I think, this guy does fit the bill pretty well. All right, guys, so as we close the video here, I want to do some comparisons. So let's start off here with Cap from Endgame. Very, I guess, similar in size, I would say. And then another Captain America. This is the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Love the way this suit looks there, but I would say pretty comparable in size, although the Endgame Cap does seem a little short. Granted, he's in a bit of an action pose, but there you go. That's what the Deadpool here looks like next to both of these caps. So we'll move them out. Bring in Iron Man. This is the non-battle damage version of the Mark 85. I have to move the camera up slightly because he is pretty tall. And you know what, let's start bringing in this Spider-Man. So here's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. This is technically the No Way Home there. So I think that Spider-Man may be a bit too short. I'm not sure about the official heights of all these characters, but there you go. That's what they look like together. So we'll move the Mark 85 out. Move Spidey. This time is Holland. This is the integrated suit Spider-Man. And let's bring in the Black Widow here. This is the one that came out for the Black Widow movie. And she also does seem a bit undersized. I don't know, but again, about the official heights. But there you go. We'll move Spidey, Holland Spidey, out of the way. Bring in big boy here. Thor from Endgame. And hopefully he won't take a dive. So there you go. That is Thor from the Endgame movie. We'll move Natasha out. And have one more Spider-Man. So why not? Here's the classic suit Spider-Man from the PS2 Spider-Man game. Looking really cool. Alright, so now we'll move Thor out of the way. And let's bring in She-Hulk. I think she may be a little bigger, so I may need to move this. So here's the She-Hulk from her show. And we'll move Spidey out. So we're talking about the bigger characters here. Here is next to Brolin, or Thanos rather, right? Not Josh Brolin. But that's what they look like next to each other. I'll pan you back. You know, Thanos is a pretty big figure there, so certainly makes Wade look smaller. So does the She-Hulk, but there you go. Let's move this big boy out of the way without breaking anything, and let's bring in Clint here from Endgame, and we'll move out here She-Hulk and bring in the 2.0 Black Panther. There you go. Looking pretty cool. And let's move Clint, and the last one I do have here for comparison is Kang the Conqueror next to Deadpool and Black Panther. But there you go, guys. Those are all the comparisons. What do you think? Alright guys, so I think that's going to do it for me here with Mr. Deadpool. I want to say overall I am happy with the figure. To be fair, this is the only Deadpool figure I have. I don't know how I would feel if I had the 1.0 or the 2.0. But for my eyes, for this being my first Deadpool figure from Hot Toys, I think it's fine. I do have some nitpicks about it, especially around the swords being all plastic. Wish they were metal. Thankfully mine didn't have any issues with the ankles, but as I showed you earlier in the video, I did have to take the foot off and loosen one of them, so maybe perhaps that had something to do with me not having any issues with breakage yet. Also not too happy about the way the back part here attaches to his back. I know it's convenient to have a magnet that you can pull in and out. I just wish it was a better way of attaching that. But other than that, I do love the accessories. Love, you know, the guns that they included, even though the magazines still don't hold well to a lot of the guns that he comes with. They kind of keep sliding on and off as I'm playing with them more and more. So yeah, you know, some minuses, a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to accessories. The figure itself, I think, is great. The suit, again, you know, you can put this guy in some nice poses. But like all Hot Toys, right, you're taking a bit of a risk there. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. Are you getting this? Maybe you already have it in your collection. But if you made it to the end of the video, huge shout out to you. Thank you so much for your very valuable time. And I will catch you in the next video. Take care.